Hello and welcome to the channel. Quinn here from the YouTube channel Quinn's Cars, and today I'm going to be doing a review of these pod lights I installed on my 2007 Toyota Matrix. I know, it's a little tacky. Basically, I'm just going to do a bunch of comparisons here. The video's not going to be edited at all, but it is going to be quick, and I'm just going to do a quick comparison from the front, then a short-range test on this garage wall behind me here, then a medium-range test, then a long-range test, and then a off-road test. So let's get right into it. But before, I just want to say that these are Auxbeam pod lights here. If I can find the link, I will put them down in the description below. I don't think they're as cheap as they were because they were on sale, $20 for two. Now, the ones in the middle, they are spotlights, and the ones on the left and the right that are angled off, those are floodlights. Spots being a bit more concentrated, floods having a bit more light splash, shall you call it. I did compare one and the other side by side, and they are different. I was kind of wondering whether they were so cheap if they were just going to be the same, but no, they are different. The ones in the middle are a bit more focused, still a little splashy, but a bit more focused for sure than the ones on the left and the right there. I basically got these on the car here to be my fog lights here, because I find even though I got these yellow tinted fog lights on the side here, stock fog lights don't really do that much. And after this, I'm going to put a yellow tint on those. But for now, I just want to show you how they come stock. So let's get right to it. Also, I have a quad row light bar on the roof of this car that was in my Ford Fusion. And I'm going to just be showing that here today. But this is the main focus of the video. So I'm going to start by turning off these outside lights. And it's Christmas time. So excuse the sound, there's a bit of an exhaust rattle. But there are just the running lights. Now those are the stock low beams. Now we have the stock low beams and fogs. Now, or sorry, the stock low beams and fog lights are on here now. I have the yellow tint on them that didn't come stock. Honestly, these fogs don't do too much. They're really not going to shine through any fog for you. They just light up the ground in front of your car a little bit better, as you can see here. And here you can see them a bit better because the ground's kind of angled up a little bit. And then there's the high beams, which of course turn the fogs off because it's just how they're designed there. So anyways, onto the Auxbeam pod lights. And there is the Auxbeam pod lights. Now, they do a fantastic job of lighting up here. I'm just going to talk during these comparisons because the camera can kind of be misleading and can show you different things than what you see in real life due to exposure and all that stuff. But these things light the ground up in front of the car much better than the fog lights do. They stick out a little bit more so you can sort of see the fog light right there. But really, they sort of just overpower all of the stock fog lights there. So there we are. So anyways, let's get to the short range test on that garage door there. I'm just showing you what they look like from the front here, and that's that. They're very bright, and they're a little too bright for oncoming traffic. I was kind of wondering if I'd be able to use them. I wouldn't have these on, maybe when I put the yellow tint on, but it's just too big of a dick move. They're brighter than high beams. So now I'm gonna sit inside the car. I'm in the exact same spot, but I'm just gonna show you a short range test on our garage door here. So there are the parking lights. They don't really do anything. You can just see it because it's white and really dark here. There, I just turned the fogs off. Those are the low beams on their own. There are the fog lights. As you can see, they really don't do much. They just light up the ground in front of the car a little bit. I am just gonna get out just to show you. You can see it a bit better there now, but really from sitting in the car, you don't see it too much. Now I'll put on the pod lights just to show you how they completely overpower the fogs. And click. Those are the pod lights. And if I turn the fogs off and on, I am right now, you can barely see them. Just a little bit in the video, but honestly, not much. I'm flicking them on and off right now, as you can see. Can't really see them. Now I'll turn these off, and I will put on my high beams. And just to give you a comparison for the high beams and these things, boom. They pretty much do a better job than the high beams at being high beams. You can still see the high beams a bit more than you can see the fogs there, but they're like, they sort of do, in this close range test, they do a better job than the fog lights at being fog lights, and they do a better job at the high beams than being high beams. So that's that. Back down to the low beams and fog lights on again, and now I'll put on the pod lights just to show you those again. There we go. High beams on, high beams off. Pod lights off, pod lights on. Now, yeah, they're really good. They're at this close range, they're better than the high beams at being high beams, and they're better at the fog lights than being fog lights. Now, just for jokes, this is gonna be insane. This is the quad row light bar on the roof. Let's put that one on. And the close range test, it doesn't look much different than those pod lights, but let me assure you, it's a lot brighter. Those are the pods going on and off. You can hardly see them now. So that's that. Let's move on to a medium range test. Okay, so I'm doing things in a bit of a reverse order right now. Right now, I am doing the off-road test. I'm just in the middle of a dirt road in the middle of the night, and right now, there's nothing because you can't see anything. So now let's go through all the lights again, and then we'll go back to the house for a medium range test. Like I said, I can't edit this stuff. So, starting off, we have nothing at all, pitch black. Then we have the running lights, which you can't really see right now at all, and or on the camera. Now we have the low beams. Excuse the rattle, I just got a little exhaust rattle at low RPMs here. So here we got the low beams. Now I will turn on the fog lights. As you can see, very little difference there. You can notice it a lot in the camera and stuff, but really, it's just the front of your car. You can really see the yellow stock fogs from that angle better. Now, fog's on, low beams on. Let's switch up to the high beams. Definitely can see a little further there. I would be using those if I was going on this trail here to see up further ahead. And now, compared to our low beams and fogs, there are the off-road lights. So, what can I tell you what I'm seeing here? So for me, these things are lighting up the ground in front of the car, obviously, a lot better than even the fogs do. You can't even see the fogs. If I turn the fogs off and on right now, you can just barely see that change there. They shine further as well. Let me turn these off and put the high beams on. If I flick the high beams off and on, they're not doing too much more, a little bit. But pretty good considering I was pretty much just putting these in as fogs. And in front of the car, like, it's just insane. So a couple things that you might not notice on the video. It really does light up to the left and right of the car very good too. These are turning off the pod lights right now. Quite a bit of a splash to the left or right, which I like. Just lights up more than the fog lights. A little bit more than you can see on the video as well. Also, in terms of being up really high, like look how high up the light goes. Even though, this is why I don't use them on the road for oncoming drivers, because yes, it's really bright here like a fog light, but it just does better than the high beams as well. It's lighting up quite high up the trees. And you can't really see, but down where it gets black on the camera there, like it's lighting that up pretty well too for just my eyes here, from eyeball view. So yeah, very good. That's the off-road test. And now, I'll turn these babies on, and this thing's insanely bright, the one on the roof here, but this is the roof light bar. And not much of a comparison there. That thing's just really, really, really friggin' bright. If I turn off the pod lights, you can't even really see it that much with that light bar on. Those are the pod lights going on and off. Front of the car, sure. But with that light bar on the roof there, that thing's insane. So basically, what I can tell you guys right now, before we go back into the house and do the medium range test, these pod lights are absolutely great, as you guys can tell right now. I would absolutely recommend them, especially for how cheap they were. They were $20 each. I think they're a little bit more expensive now. The deal ends. I'll try to post the link of where I got them, but if I can't find them, just look on Amazon or Auxbeam site for their floodlights and their spotlights. But like I said, this light bar here on the top, which you can't see right now because it's off, is way, way brighter. If you're looking for the brightest thing out there, I wouldn't go the pod light route. You can probably, like I did in my Fusion, you can mount a light bar down there instead, like a big giant one like that. But these things here are absolutely great. They do the job really good. They're just not the brightest thing out there. But for fog lights on the road, I really don't need anything much brighter. So anyways, that's that. Now let's go do the medium range test. I was gonna go further down there for the medium range test in a different off-road test, but the ground's really soft and squishy and I was starting to get a little stuck, so I just kept my momentum and bailed out of there. It was a little scary. Actually, before the medium range test, I just got another like on the road test. So this is actually on a little side road here that's not a dirt road out in the woods. So really quick, this is just gonna be a quick one. We got the low beams and the fog lights, kind of hard to see right now. I'm trying to focus it a little bit more. We got the high beams. We have the Auxbeam pod lights that we're reviewing here. Much brighter than the other two. And as you can see from that sign that's like far away down there, it does light it up quite a bit. I'm getting a bit of a blurry view here, but yeah, works great. Also lighting up to the left there. Kind of hard to see. You can't really see on the camera at all actually right now, but it lights up to the left and right quite a bit too. And then going for the crazy one, I'll even just turn these off. For the crazy one on the roof, even though I'm not reviewing that one, just to show you. Yeah, and that thing's just absolutely insane. Like it's lighting up the, oh man, this is a bad view. I'll get a different one here. It also shows all the gunk on my windshield, but it also lights up the top of the trees. Let's go to a different spot and get a better shot. So we're still not at the medium range test because I decided to do one more before we get to that. Fog lights. Those are just the low beams on as well. And here are the pod lights here. Really, really good. I can't even see those trees that well that are like right at the end of the road there, past that stop sign. But with these things, I absolutely can. And you can in the camera here too. High beams you can as well. But again, just to show you the pod lights here, yeah, they're pretty great. They're pretty great. And the biggest thing is, like, look, like I said, I'm almost going 90 degrees left here. They really light up to the left. That's because I got them angled there as well. And up top as well. Like, you can't even see those. Even with my high beams, it does light that up actually. But really lights up high as well. Awesome. Okay. And for the big crazy one on the roof, no comparison. That's just insane. Turn those off. Okay, now it's time for that finally, the medium range test that I should have had in earlier, but I got no editing. Okay, so we're at the medium range test. It's back at the garage. You can't see it now because this is nothing. Parking lights on, still nothing. Turn off those fogs and boom, the low beams are on there, just on their own. That's why I turned off the fogs. Now we'll put the high beams on. Perfect. Now the fogs. Perfect. And now for the pod lights. And here we go. Boom. Here is where they really shine. I mean, they did on the other tests here too. But the close range tests I did on the garage, they didn't look much different than the high beam. But here you can really tell the splashes, you know, being in the same area just a little bit back. The splash is just a lot more. Like, yeah, they light up way more than the high beams do on the garage, but they also light up more, these pod lights to left and right, as you can see. Look at that. Like I said, I'm almost 90 degrees over there. Like the high beams don't do that. Same with the stairs over there and all up here. Like, look at that. It's pretty crazy. It's really hard to see, but even like up there even. And some of the trees you can't see on the camera, like that one right over on the right side there, like it lights it right up. And there's some trees right behind the garage there that there you go. Just focusing it there. You can, like the light really focuses on those. And now for the crazy steroid, way over the top quad row. And that's just insane. This thing, you look, both of these you don't want with oncoming drivers, but this thing's just over the top. Like it's lighting the tree tops. The other one, you lit up the trees too, but I can literally see the tops of the trees here. And it's also lighting in front of the car a lot better. But that's not what this video is about. It's about those pod lights that are the only thing on there right now. So yeah. Thank you for watching the video, guys. I hope it helped out. Just kind of showing you a bit more inside the car here. I know it wasn't the best video ever, but I don't have any editing software right now, so I just kind of did it with my camera app. And that's that. I did a lot of footage here just because I really wanted to help you guys out. Wanted to give you guys multiple different angles if you're on the fence about buying these things. So yeah, the pod lights, they're great. Great price. They're just not as bright as the other thing out there, like the Auxbeam one that's on my roof there. That's a quad row, which they don't sell that anymore either. So like I said, pod lights, they're not the brightest things out there, but they're really good and they're small, and they can go great with other light bars. And if you just want something better than stock, then they absolutely pass if you don't need the brightest thing out there. Here's the big crazy one. Bing. They almost look the same here, but this thing's way brighter. And pod lights. Pod lights do it over there a bit more. And that's the nice thing about the pod lights too, where they're so small you can really aim them in any direction you want. They'd be good for floodlights on the side of your vehicle too, like on the side of the roof basket. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys here. I really hope this video helped you out. Once I start getting my editing software up, I'm going to be planning on doing better quality videos. But for now, this is all we got. And there they are, just on their own. Have a fantastic, well, that's the roof-mounted light bar. But that's it, guys. Have a fantastic day. Quinn Giles out of here. Stay safe and have a Merry Christmas.